My mom's a university professor, and as she told me, all the professors have a joke about the University of Phoenix. It's a for profit university based in Phoenix, Arizona, that holds all its coursework online, has low tuition rates, and compensates for that by enrolling more than 70,000 students. They have a reputation for extremely watered down classes, and everyone knows that they literally sell degrees. Now, why am I mentioning this? Well, there are recent speculations that if universities continue to offer online classes, then due to technical difficulties or student complaints, many classes will be reduced to a University of Phoenix level. And trust me, my mom's been doing quite a bit of complaining about her students at home. But this is very concerning. Where's the future of higher education if nobody works hard to learn? So the question before us today is, how will COVID-19 change the future of American education? While the impacts are not all negative, I believe the coronavirus will change American education in three ways. First, it'll open up possibilities for flexible learning, especially for non-traditional students. Second, it'll water down course curriculum and abandon many challenging aspects that were previously developed. And third, it'll widen the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. Now, the first way COVID-19 will change the future of American education is opening up possibilities for flexible learning, especially for non-traditional students. According to the Chronicle of Higher Education in 2020, many of higher education's non-traditional students have full-time jobs, but also attend part-time school because they want a higher income. Online education is much more convenient for those that have internet, and there are many more resources available that they would otherwise have to go to campus for. According to the same Chronicle article, many universities are offering a pass-fail option to attract more part-time students who are just looking to pass their way through a degree, but do not need a high GPA. Now, Diverse Issues in Higher Education Journal on September the 8th tells us that universities are doing all they can to attract non-traditional students, including lowering tuition and providing technology for free. It is a great time for a non-traditional working class person or even stay-at-home mom to get their college degrees. According to University Business on October the 23rd, universities are paying more attention to retention services, including free tutoring that can help non-traditional students graduate smoothly. So as you can see, one of the benefits is that there are many, many more opportunities for non-traditional part-time university students amidst the pandemic. Now, the second way the pandemic will radically impact American education is by watering down course curriculum and abandoning many challenging aspects that were previously developed. Now, back when post-secondary curriculum was being developed, universities were all trying to make it more challenging, more specialized in their fields, right? Now they're in the process of undoing that to secure their tuition dollars. According to Inside Higher Ed on November the 3rd, students did worse on standardized tests during COVID-19. So teachers, in an attempt to save students in higher ed, are significantly inflating course grades and allowing students, in an extreme case, to even work together on exams. According to Trib Live on October the 28th, the Pittsburgh Penn Hills School District Board voted to suspend a 2.0 GPA requirement and lower it to 1.0 for athletics and marching band students. And as I've read across the board, many other school districts and higher education institutions have made similar moves, including resorting to the pass-fail structure I mentioned earlier. According to many school district websites around the nation, including those in Texas and Kentucky, they're releasing grading guidelines, instructing teachers to allow students to make up assignments even months after they're due. Teachers are already unable to cover as much curriculum, but they are told to even allow students a quote unquote buy on the stuff that they have covered. Now, this is obviously not good, but there's a third impact of COVID-19. So the third impact, again negative, of COVID-19 on education in the United States is that it widens the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. According to McKinsey research in 2020, the increasing gap in education between high and low income students caused by the pandemic could rob the US economy of up to $670 billion of lost GDP productivity, almost the equivalent of a future recession. According to NAACP in 2020, the communities that need the most funding during COVID-19 are the ones with low income. However, they're also the ones that have the least funding available for technology and other educational aids. According to the Economic Policy Institute on September the 10th, there is a 5% gap between poor and non-poor students that have internet at home, and a 16% gap in those that have computers. In addition, there's a 10% gap in those that know how to use computer software to accomplish their homework. Many school districts are sending home Chromebooks and tablets, but those are impossible to use without internet at home. And they're further impossible to use if the student doesn't know how to use the software. Also, with educated parents, children can get better schooling at home, but usually underprivileged children have undereducated parents as well. According to Pew Research on April the 15th, not only are underprivileged children falling behind educationally, they're also falling behind socially because they don't have the outside school social opportunities and friends that their affluent counterparts do, just as a function of where they live or, what their parents do for a living. Now, to go back to our original question, how will COVID-19 change the future of American education? The impacts aren't all negative, but as I said, I believe coronavirus will change American education in three main ways. First, it'll open up possibilities for flexible learning, especially for non-traditional higher ed students. Second, it'll water down course curriculum and abandon many challenging aspects that were previously developed. And third, it'll widen the gap between students in affluent communities and those in underprivileged ones. So in conclusion, more negative than positive effects of COVID-19 will be seen on education, although there are some benefits to virtual learning. As my mom complains, self-motivated students will still work hard and learn, but it's the problem with motivation that will drive education down during COVID. So let's just hope that schools don't follow the University of Phoenix's example and that they continue to motivate their students towards success. Thank you.